to schools, there's a phenomenon going on on campuses, high schools, junior high, and elementaries. It's something called community service, or service learning. 20 years ago, one generation ago, the U.S. News and World Report said that 18% of college graduates said, I want to go out and make my community, my nation, or the world a better place. 18%, that's 1 out of 5. Today, 50% of college graduates say, I want to go out and make my community or the world a better place. 50%. I was at Eton High School, it's like 8%. It goes up higher and higher. And the reason for that, a lot of it, is because of the proliferation in community service. Many of you have been involved in community service? And what did you do in community service? Pardon? Relay for Life? So you ran for cancer? Is that to help with cancer? Okay. Okay, very good. And you did that, like, all of you got kids involved? Lots of kids, okay. How about somebody else? What did you do? Yes, ma'am, right there. Can you stand up? I can hear you. We raised money for Pennies for Peace. All right, good job. Go ahead and stand up. Pardon me? She jumped rope for like heart? Jump rope for heart, okay. Everybody's from Wyoming, it's in Colorado, so communities. Yes, ma'am. Oh, wonderful. So your daughter helps with walk for diabetes and help with diabetes awareness. That's incredible. You know, many of those things are very small. You help a child learn how to read and write, or maybe plant a tree, or pick up some garbage on the freeway, or maybe help your community with something else. Those are very powerful catalysts that really get the kids to be aware of the community and also inspire kids to know that anybody really can make a difference. Well, I had to raise $12,000 to build a school in Blackstone. The kids asked me for help, so I said, I promise to build a school for you. Now, I had no clue how to fundraise, and I've gotten a lot of flack for this over the last few years, but basically I didn't know how to fundraise. So what I did is I went to the local library. Now, are there any librarians in here? Okay, let's give all the librarians a big round of applause. Librarians are some of my heroes. So librarian, we looked at the name of 508 celebrities, and so I hand-typed 508 letters over 10 weeks. Dear Michael Jordan, Dear Sylvester Stallone, and so on. Well, guess what happened? Nothing happened. Then at Christmas time, I got one check back from Tom Brokaw for $100. So Tom has moved to Montana, and he's got to be helping 3 cups of tea, but he's also avoiding me a little bit. So I asked Tom one day, why are you avoiding me? He said, well, Greg, I'm kind of embarrassed, because everywhere I go, people pull me aside and ask about 3 cups of tea. And I'm embarrassed because I only wrote a $100 check, and you wrote about it, stuck in a book. Anyway, I have the guts to say, Tom, you can still write another check, and we'll stick it in the next book. Thanks to Tom, he inspired thousands of people to write a $101 check. And to add some insult to that, my daughter Vera, she's 13, and that was about a year and a half ago, we were doing homework. She was kind of distracted. She looked up at me and said, Daddy, I figured out that in 1993, you spent $128 on postage, and you only raised $100. So that's what education does for you. Anyways, I kept working to get the school built. I was also working to get extra money for supplies and transport and everything else. Sold my cars, sold my climbing gear, sold my books. I love books. It's really hard to sell all your precious books. 90% marked out in Black Oak Bookstore in Berkeley. Well, by springtime, I raised $3,000. My mother was in elementary school in Wisconsin. She invited me to come and talk to kids in school. It was the first time I spoke to anybody about what I was trying to do with adults or kids, and heaven forbid you go to elementary school to raise money. Anyways, when I got done, 4th grade, named Jeffrey, he came up to me, looked at me, straight in my eyes. Jeffrey said, I have a piggy bank at home and I'm going to help you. And I thought, what can a 4th grader do? Guess what happened? Westside School raised $62,340 pennies. And when I think about it, it wasn't celebrities, it wasn't movie stars, it wasn't sports heroes, it wasn't adults, it was children, reaching out children halfway around the world that do it with pennies. So today we have a program called Pennies for Peace. One of the things we stress in Pennies for Peace is that children children spend time with their elders. And some kids say, well, what am I supposed to talk to my grandpa or grandma about? Well, you talk to them about when they were young, what it was like as a child. Were they afraid during World War II or during the Depression? They didn't know what they were going to eat for the next meal? Did they worry about it? Lots of things. And it's pretty cool. You spend a little time with some older people asking what it's like. I like to really encourage the kids to do that. We also have math games. The NEA, National Education Association, has proven the curriculum for basic piece can be integrated into the school curriculum. It's called the Rubik Standardized System for Teachers. You're familiar with that. The other thing we do in basic piece is we encourage kids to go out on their own and make a difference. And that's what's been so cool about basic piece. I'm just going to give you one of hundreds of examples. This young man's name is Zach. He's from Tampa, Florida. Zach is 12 years old. Is there any kids who are 12 here? Or 11 or 13? Okay. All right. Wow, those hands always come up. So Zach started playing piece for a couple of years, but he also saw homeless kids in the Tampa area. Zach was really bothered by that. He also had his best friend in trouble learning how to read and write. So Zach, and kids used to make fun of his friend and taunt him. Now, it's not nice to make fun of a kid who has trouble learning how to write and read, right? So he started a foundation called Little Red Riding Foundation. Last year, Zach walked. He walked from Tampa to Washington, D.C. with his Little Red Riding and raised $78,000 to bring awareness to homeless kids in the U.S. We're not done yet. Zach, this year, Zach is going to walk during the summer holidays. He has to take 6 weeks extra off from school from Tampa to Los Angeles across the United States of America to raise $1 million to bring awareness to homeless kids in the U.S. He's going to be 13 this summer. When Zach set up this nonprofit, he called me. He needs to know about board directors. Like, is it a board person or adult or all that stuff? And I said, no, Zach, you need board directors like a fiduciary responsibility and moral compass and all those. Why you got to watch organization. So Zach said, could I put some kids on my board? Well, I said, check the law in Florida. So there's no law against it. So all of Zach's board directors have to be under 18 years of age to have a writing foundation. Anybody want to hear a love story? So in 1995, I was 38. I was a bachelor. I was working as a trauma nurse, trying to get the school built. I also was working very hard and many different things. I was at a fundraising there in San Francisco. It was getting kind of late. I walked to the back. There's a very beautiful woman back there. She had on black combat boots. Her name was Tara Bishop. So I started talking to her, and 6 days later we got married. Living happily ever after.